I'm gonna jump right into my criticism. I don't know why I didn't like how Sephiroth didn't show up. I feel like he's a pretty important character to the whole Hercules narrative.
Oh,
No
I don't.
Cloud either. Like, what the fuck was that?
The fuck are you talking about?
I don't. I don't
King-
go here.
Kingdom Hearts. And the Kingdom Hearts game, Sephiroth,
Do I look like a loser?
Oh,
the one-winged angel has a pretty big story significance in Hercules' Kingdom Hearts
More like the
story.
one wienered angel.
I mean,
she.
Ryan, everyone has one wiener.
What do you mean?
So anyway, we read.
Ryan, do you?
Anyway,
Anyway,
we'll cut this out. We'll cut this out. Uh, we read "Go the Distance: A Twisted Tale" by Jen
What's her last?
Kalanita. I got the letters; they all started floating around in my brain.
Yeah.
What if Meg had to become a Greek god? Ooh.
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 And I think we might have some opinions on it. Some of us
Hey.
maybe a little too Kingdom Hearts pilled for this, I guess.
I'm just saying, Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, and the 20 spin-off games before 3 came out were pretty fucking good.
Anyways, should we jump into kind of like a synopsis of it, I suppose? But you know,
Shall
what is this kind of twisted tale? I've never heard of this twisted tale thing. What the heck is this? Why are you
Wow.
presenting this to me?
I, for one, love Twisted Tales. Let me tell you about it.
Yeah, the Jordy has the
Uh,
floor.
it. I mean, so I don't know. I remember in school we actually like got to write our own Twisted Tales, but it's really just like taking the lore of something. Like when I was in school, we did like Sleeping Beauty and all like old fairy tales, and you just kind of write it different. Like, what if this thing was different? Just kind of a fun way to do that. This is exploring if when the Hercules film concludes, Hercules gets up to Olympus, Zeus doesn't let him not become a god to be with Meg. They specifically force him to stay a god. And
Zeus be like, listen here, you little shit.
yeah, and uh, this book follows Meg, who is given an opportunity to earn godhood by completing some quests for Hera.
Whoa.
Side
And
quests, like unlocked.
yeah,
Lay epic.
lay epic side. Um, that's kind of the gist of it. It ends up Meg has to go get a flute, and then she gets the flute, and she also kind of she gets to keep it, kind of. Kind of. I'm kind of realizing now they don't really do anything else with the flute.
The
Yeah.
flute was literally a
No.
MacGuffin. It's just kind of MacGuffin, really.
Yeah, it's there.
But
And
does
then
she use
after
it at the end?
well, she uses it to put
Oh,
Cerberus to
right, right,
sleep,
right, right.
but
Yeah.
like that's
I
it.
mean, that's kind of standard Greek
Yeah,
mythos type stuff.
but they almost said it like 20 times before she even like got to Cerberus that oh, to get past Cerberus, you'd have to lull him to sleep. They only said some variation
Oh
of that
yeah.
sentence at least 20 times before that. But basically, so she gets the flute back, and then she gets the part two to her quest, which is she has to go into the underworld and retrieve someone out of it. Ooh.
Ooh.
Ooh, and
Which
who
is
is this mysterious guy we have to get out of here?
it's actually her ex-boyfriend's wife.
Ronald
Gasp.
Reagan.
Ronald.
We can
Um
kill him again.
so yeah, and I mean the short of it is of course eventually she does actually get the person out of the underworld, but yeah, that's kind of the main gist. I think
Yeah.
It's a
as we
lot of.
talk more about it, we can add details if we need to.
I wouldn't call this book particularly complex, at the very least.
No,
No.
it's And I think it's definitely aimed like at a middle school kind of audience,
Mm-hmm.
like 10 to 12-year-olds.
So perfect for us.
Yeah. There's a couple words that were a little too big for me, but for
Mm-hmm.
the most part, this kind of lined up exactly with
Yeah, no, I
what
agree.
I need to read.
100%.
I can't believe Hercules would turn down being a rad AF god for some girl. Psh,
Yeah, ugh,
ugh.
what a loser.
What
No
a
comment.
dweeb. Hercules, more like Himboles.
My client has no comment.
Yeah. That is in fact the book.
Yep, that's pretty much it.
So I
Uh,
guess go ahead.
oh, I was just gonna say, do we want to get into criticisms, goods,
I want to.
bads?
I actually want to start with the like. I don't have very many criticisms. I like this book. Let's start with the good stuff. What about you
The
guys? You
good
start.
stuff. I'm down with the good stuff.
Yeah, go ahead. You start.
I will start with when I read the synopsis for this book, I was like, oh no. It's a book about a woman changing herself to please a man. And I was like, already putting off some red flags for me. And then it goes in and Herc's like, hey, no, fuck it. I just won't be a god then. And I'm like, okay, this is a good progression. This doesn't feel as creepy. And then Hera's like, yeah, unfortunately, we really can't let Herc not be a god. So if you want to be a god, that's cool. That's something we can do. And I thought that was a good way to kind of not be like woman becomes something different for man,
Hmm.
which I thought I was genuinely worried about coming into this book.
Well, and it was
Yeah.
also kind of cool in that most of it was her like more or less having to face like whatever
Her
trauma
trauma,
she just kind of like packed away and said, "I'll deal with that later."
and
After
then never did.
lifetime of that, which
Yeah,
that was pretty dope.
yeah. I really like to. It's been a while since I've seen the movie, so I don't quite remember how much she talks about like her past traumas in the movie, but I liked how it was fleshed out in here
Mm-hmm.
too.
Mm-hmm.
For the most part, there was only one thing it wasn't a bad thing, it just part of one thing was kind of silly. But I'll talk about that later. But I think for the most part it was all pretty well fleshed out. Um I liked I was really scared when I first started reading this because I was kind of like, "Oh no, this like the way this Meg sounds, she doesn't seem like the same kind of character that like the movie Meg was."
Because movie Meg is an absolute girl boss, like goddamn.
She is. And this Meg, she didn't quite seem to that level, but that kind of got better as the book went on. I mean, she's still clearly like it's not quite the same. She's not quite as sassy, which is kind of sad, but it's also like
That's just gonna
younger
happen.
audience. Yeah. It's
Hmm.
I think that would be a little difficult to write like a continuation of, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I recognize the difficulty.
Yeah, especially if you're not the original writer of the the source
Movie.
material.
Right.
Mm, yeah, I don't know if I had any gripes with it either. I think overall it's fine.
I had a few issues, but they're all relatively minor. Like
Yeah.
obviously, as we mentioned, this is a book for middle schoolers, and my palate's a little more refined.
This guy's got a high school reading level.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Whatever.
bro. Did I mention the fact that or not like late elementary, like junior or like eighth grade, my librarian was recommending me college and high school level read books.
Shoot, I
Yeah.
was doing that in fifth
Same.
grade.
Well,
They
maybe I
still
was in
treated me
second
like an
grade.
idiot.
Ooh.
It's like clearly you have the intelligence and emotional capacity to handle this, but you're also stupid.
Yeah, that's besides the
uh
point.
that 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 bit got a little too real.
Yeah, we'll cut that out.
Uh,
We'll cut that out.
but yeah, I did definitely think some of the parks were like very kind of again, this is more just because it was very like it made for younger audience. It felt very like low stakes at times.
Mhm.
Like it
Mm,
was kind of hard to feel particularly concerned about any of the characters when it was like, so what's the word? Non-threatening? Like At no point did I really ever feel like there was a sense of urgency, because like
Hmm.
to Meg, this is a massive deal, but in the greater sense of the world, it was relatively minor. Which I guess isn't necessarily a bad thing for a story like this to be like a very self-contained story.
Hmm.
Just for my own enjoyment of the book, I thought it was a little dull in that regard.
Caden needed someone with nuclear warheads pointed directly at Olympus.
I
Well,
mean, that's basically just Seuss all the time.
yeah, and also like the Greek gods. I mean, it's kind of the same case for the movie. The Greek gods were a little too chill.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
needed
It's
more drama.
a little
I
bit,
needed so
and definitely like the gods were pretty straightforward. Like I feel like in a lot of like mythology that we read about, like the Greek gods, they're kind of characterized as like kind of planning maybe a few more steps ahead and
conniving even.
conniving. Like they're always like striving for some sort of goal, and that goal almost never really benefits the humans involved in the stories.
If
Um,
anything, it directly screws the humans over 9 times out of 10.
exactly. And I know the fact that, and also I get why I think it was a bit silly though that the person that that Meg's rescuing from the underworld is getting rescued because the gods are like, "Oh no, she wasn't supposed to die." Darn, like they're just kind of yeah, they're even kind of meh about it.
It's also like, dude,
It's
I
just
thought Greek gods didn't give a shit about humans like that. Like, someone
Well,
died, oop, oh, who
but
cares?
at the end they do make the point that like the whole reason they got that lady out was because they were just going to use the baby to fight monsters once the baby's grown up.
True, yeah.
So, I guess in that sense,
I guess
but it's
I don't,
not.
I don't I don't feel like that point was underlined very much.
Yeah,
I don't know. It
it's
felt
also
weird.
just one of those things that they just throw to the side at the end.
Yeah.
Because the book starts with Meg being like, "Hey, yo, Herc, you know he literally just used you to kill the Titans, right?" And everyone's like, "No, no, he loved him the whole time. No, no, I love I love Hercules like my son. He's my son."
Yeah, she does kind of girl boss all over at the beginning. Yeah, up on Mount Olympus. She's like, "Yeah, these dudes kind of suck, Hercules." And they're like, "No, we're
Mm.
awesome. We're so cool." Um, I think the only other thing that's like popping out in my head that I would criticize, and it's I feel awful bringing it up, but the fact that the circumstance in which Meg's mother passes away, why
Yeah,
why was it like that?
Oh fuck, I didn't even think about that.
it's so weird,
It's it is so absurd
and
and
it
almost
doesn't
out
really
of
make any sense.
it doesn't make sense. It's so out of left field that I read it and I laughed. Not because people dying is funny, but
Well,
it's just so it's just out there. It's just Meg's going throughout her day and then her mom gets hit by a horse-drawn cart.
man, that would be
And that was
brutal.
That would be brutal, first of all.
it
But
has
also
big I have cancer. That's the test came back. I definitely have breast cancer. Anyway, how's your life?
it's I don't know. I thought that was really weird. And
I hadn't thought about that till you pointed it out, but yes.
just the circ no, I it just was like almost comical the way it happened, and in my head like when I'm criticizing that, I'm more just like thinking there could have been some cool like parallel between like
Mm-hmm.
if her mom died from getting sick, that explained why she
Cared so
was
much
so
about.
cared so much about her ex-boyfriend who was sick and why she was praying to gods to make him better. um I don't know,
Or like
it missed opportunity, I think.
because like the Meg's mom was like everyone will betray you. My husband betrayed me. Men ain't shit. Valid, but like, and then just having her die and that be the catalyst. I mean, like maybe like make it someone betrayed her and swindled out of her like medicine or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I think anything. The suddenly struck by horse-drawn carriage or cart just and I just did that happen a lot? Maybe I'm just not understanding
It's
pre
what she gets for not looking left and right before crossing the street.
I guess
I
I
can't
just
believe Megara's mom got isekai'd.
she really, she really did. That's why I don't like it. It's because it's so
She just got
like
hit by a
it's so
car.
anime. It's just such it's such a like weird first
I
episode of an
try-
anime thing to happen.
It's also like you couldn't have come up with anything better.
Yeah, it just felt weird. I think that was it did scare me that that happens pretty early in the book, and I was like, oh god, I have 200 more pages.
But after that, I think it was alright.
Oh yeah, I can't think of anything other than what we've already mentioned that would be a bad
Why did they
thing.
keep calling Tartarus hell?
Well,
That's a Viking
I-
word, right?
if I'm 10, I think it would be hard to say Tartarus.
That's not my problem. Grow the fuck up. I'm right.
Um,
I'm right.
I'm trying to think.
There's something else. Did we ever figure out the whole hair color thing?
Nope, I didn't at least.
Oh, the hair and eye color.
Yeah.
So what I kind of
Because
figured
it's
out,
obviously it's not outside the realm of reason, right? I just thought it was just one of those things where I was thinking about, aren't usually Greek people like brown to black hair?
They're Mediterranean, so yeah.
Yeah.
so what I read was that it was I couldn't tell like how new the science was that I was reading because it sounded like it used to be believed that uh like that Mediterranean area in the old times, blonde hair, blue eyed.
Mm.
And then once they started to like marry into like Turkish peoples and stuff like that, that was kind of reintroducing like dark hair, dark eyes.
Mm.
But
Hmm.
I was reading that and it kind of sounded like maybe that was old science. I don't know. I couldn't really figure out an answer. I think though there was still I think it was just maybe more rare than it is even in like today's times because
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure
I
like
thought
even in
Scottish
old
people.
myths
Oh.
well even old myths like I think they describe like Achilles with blonde hair and light eyes. I think
This question's too big for us, maybe.
maybe I think I
Not a
don't think it's
historian, by
outside
the
of
way.
the realm of possibility.
Yeah, and I mean, it's obviously not. Like, there's clearly a chance that it could happen no matter what. It's just.
I think it's also worth noting that the world of Hercules is kind of like a modern, like the Greece in Hercules is a modern approximation.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
no,
well-
it's a Disney movie, right?
Mm. So I think playing fast and loose with stuff like that is probably just more of a stylistic choice. Like
Yeah.
it's supposed to be like a Fox metropolitan area. But the Romans would be very upset to know that.
Oh, how did we feel about introducing Persephone?
I thought that
I
was
thought-
okay.
Yeah, I would say it was decisively fine.
I thought it was
unproblematic.
interesting that they did it.
That it was even there.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting. Inoffensive, perhaps.
Yeah, because there's a lot of different ways you can like take the Persephone myth, and this way just kind of took it as middle of the road as you possibly could.
Yeah, because it's like I've seen people do it two ways. It's that she is trapped there, or they're a very wholesome domestic couple, and like nothing in between.
Yeah. And I don't know. I think it was. It does kind of suck that Persephone was literally just a plot device. She was just kind of
Yeah.
there to make Hades not mad at Meg.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of literally it. Which isn't a bad thing. That happens. Especially in books this short. Everything's a plot device, but I don't know, it's kind of sad. It would have been cool that if she was going to be included, there was maybe more of a side story involving her instead of her just like being like, I want to be with Hades, and then Hera just being like, okay, I guess.
Weird flex, but okay.
First of all, cringe.
I'll say it though. They're cowards for not making Hades gay in this, because he
Real.
definitely coded.
Real. I can't even add to that. Just real. You get it.
If you get it, you get it.
I thought
Yeah, I get. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I thought the whole plot point with the apples was just kind of silly.
Oh yeah, because she didn't even take any.
Like,
Yeah, like, they
I
were
understood
just-
why at when that scene resolved itself. Like, okay, I get it, but I thought it was just silly, and that kind of fight between her and Hercules could have come earlier or happened in some other way.
Also, is that part maybe included because that was the only of Hercules' labors that wasn't included in the animated movie?
That's what I figured, but
Oh, is it actually the only one that
to my knowledge, let's find out.
I'm not a geek. Does it look like my ass read Percy Jackson?
It's
You
the
should.
lion, the hydra, both of those, the Arcadian deer, the boar, the stables, the birds, the bull, the horses of Diomedes, the girdle of Hippotia, the flock of Grayon. Maybe a lot of these weren't in this, actually.
So, yeah, I gotta.
Because the lion, the hydra, the bull, and the capture of Cerberus are the ones I remember from the movie.
Okay, so he slays the lion, he slays the hydra. Did he capture the golden hind? I don't think that happened. Did he capture the boar?
Surely there's
see,
a checklist.
Because I read Percy Jackson, and now I'm remembering Percy Jackson instead of Hercules. But I know for sure that the birds were not in the movie.
Yeah, according to Medium.com, I'm not too sure how reliable this information is, but in the myth, he must complete 12 labors. In the movie, they show some of the labors, but not all of them, or not even mentioned most of them.
Gotcha.
Ah, pardon.
Whack.
Bless. Whack. So I'm on the Wikipedia page, and just for fun, there's a controversy tab, and it's literally only
Oh,
two
Lord.
sentences.
And those are?
Disney intended for the film to have an open-air premiere at Phoenix Hall, but the Greek government declined after the Greek media and public panned the film. A Greek newspaper called it another case of foreigners distorting our history and culture just to suit their commercial interests. Yikes.
Low-key, he ain't wrong, though.
He ain't wrong. And there's a canceled sequel.
That's maybe for the best, with the history Disney has with sequels.
Oh, so the sequel, Hercules 2, The Trojan War, was planned. It would have been about how Hercules is now living in Athens with Meg and their daughter Hebe. However, when an old friend named Helen is captured by the evil Paris of Troy, Hercules joins the United Greek Army as they head out to war. However, this war will create revelation, and Hercules finds an old friend who eventually goes missing. The project was canceled when John Lasseter was named Disney's new chief creative officer in 2006, in which he called off all direct-to-video sequels that Disney had planned.
That's kind of a shame because seeing the Trojan War through Disney's eyes would be kind of fucking nuts.
Hercules commits a war crime.
My
I
boy
wanna see
Achilles out here.
what's the evil pairs of Troy?
What about Hercules the animated series?
Zero
Where
to
does
hero.
this fit into all of this? No,
Hold on,
That
I'm
one
trying to
didn't
read.
land?
Wait, there's two? Oh no.
there's a TV show.
TV show based on the. They were in 52 episodes? Damn. The series followed Hercules as a teenager in training to be a hero prior to the events of the film. It's a prequel. Did it do good though?
I doubt it.
And it doesn't have Meg.
It's a prequel.
I know.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It actually won awards.
Oh, huh.
Cool.
Common Sense Media gave the series a rating of 4 stars out of 5, noting that this better than average spinoff has heart and brawn.
Hmm.
And then it was nominated for an Emmy, a Golden Reel. It won an Emmy.
What an Emmy.
Wild.
Truly.
For an animated program. And then it won an ASCAP? I don't know what that is.
Caden,
Sounds fake.
get a load of this guy. Doesn't know what an ass cap is.
Gordy, we're gonna have to have a talk after this.
Oh,
Christ.
sorry.
This is going to be a whole thing now.
Did I do something wrong?
Anyways, moving on. Fuck. Is there any other things we want to talk about before wrapping it up? Any closing thoughts?
Oh, I had a good thing I forgot about.
Hmm.
I really appreciated how much Meg still like cared for her mother, even when she recognized that her mother wasn't the best at what she was doing.
Yeah.
I kind of like how even I feel like a lot of kids' books are afraid to touch that subject
Yeah.
and to devote any thought to it. But I felt like, Meg spends a good amount of time just being like, man, there were some ways my mom sucked, but there was also most ways that my mom was
At least
awesome.
she wasn't
and I
my
missed her.
dad.
At least she wasn't my dad. Yeah, also, fuck that guy. I
Yeah.
love how he's here for, like, not even a page. And he's just gone. And we
And
don't
he still sucks.
and he still sucks. And we don't even have to care about him. He
Your
just
dad
sucks.
was like, sorry, babe. I'm out with the boys.
Yeah. My wife and daughter are starving. Sorry. I'm going out with the boys. Ooh,
It's boys'
that's-
nights after all.
Oh, never mind. I was gonna make a joke. I'm not gonna make it
So we're
anymore.
going to have to do 2 talks with HR.
I'll
Look.
call Devin.
Look, Devin's HR.
You know
Oh,
Anyways,
explains a
Caden,
lot.
that?
Caden, did you have any final thoughts?
No, I mean, this being this was again a lot simpler of a book. I genuinely I'm glad they didn't do woman changes herself to suit a man.
Why
And
not?
honestly, I'm just kind of glad that didn't happen. That's really honestly,
Yeah.
we got over that hump, and I'm like, all right, I'm in, I'm cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think women should change for men all the time. You know?
That's number 3.
That's gonna be a
Keep
long
racking
email.
them up.
Actually,
This
I'm
isn't
30
fucking
minutes till
tickets
meeting.
at fucking Chuck E. Cheese, buddy. You're not getting a prize at the end of this. I can tell you that much.
What?
Yeah, I think that's about how I felt too. It was fine. I would rather read this than You've Reached Sam. I think that's my metric going forward.
Oh, well, it's like it's a coin toss above or below.
Yeah, when I read this, were the 2 in front of me, which one would I pick? I'd pick this. I think it was fine. Fairly faithful to the source material. I don't know. It was fun.
So here's a follow-up question.
Uh-oh.
Would you like next year or next for the next, would you want to read one of the other Twisted Tales?
I
One
don't think I'd be opposed to it.
Yeah, I am curious enough that I would perchance take a little peek. What else are
Interesting.
there?
There's a lot of them. I think they've got one for pretty much every like classic Disney movie up through the 90s.
There's a
I
Peter
think
Pan one.
honestly, I'm kind of 50-50 on it. Like if we end up and pick another one to read, it'll still be fine to read, but I also didn't feel super strongly about this one. I'm open to other suggestions, I guess,
Yeah.
is the way I should say that.
Mhm.
It was fine, but like I'm probably not going to continue reading these in my own time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Whoa, there's a Frozen one. That's the one we should read because I haven't even seen Frozen.
Unironically, Frozen's actually really good.
It's not a bad movie.
Caden, you've
It's just
seen Frozen?
Yeah.
Huh.
there's too many songs.
I like musicals.
Musicals are good, yes. There's too many songs though. They needed to take out one song in the middle.
I
How
will
are they gonna sell
say
that soundtrack?
Let It Go. I liked Let It Go when I heard it the first time, but it's just oversaturation. Like I despise it.
Yeah. And I feel like Frozen had better songs. I don't think that was the best song.
It was very okay.
But the Hercules movie, all bangers.
Bang.
I
Goated.
Oh,
Goated.
10 out of 10.
Let's
Dan?
see.
Anything else?
I can't think of anything else.
Me neither.
Mm-hmm.
Think oh my god, Michael Bolton is on the soundtrack. I did not.
Who?
Michael Bolton, he's a older 80s singer. Mid 70s. Bolton performed in the hard rock and heavy metal.
You know that, right?
You know.
I'm just making sure.
Yeah, no, I didn't know he sang that. Actually, I didn't know. Sorry, distracted. But yeah, it's pretty good. Thumbs up.
Thumbs up indeed.
Hercules. More like Hercules.
More like Twunkules.
First,
I thought that was gonna get a bigger reaction.
No, it just reminded me of the "I'm not a twink, I'm a twunk" video. You know what I'm talking about?
I'm just thinking the clip from It's Always Sunny. Speaking of twunks, are the next two books that we're reading next month, both feature twunks prominently throughout the entire running of the books. We're reading Alfarius, Head of the Hydra, and Sanguinius, the Great Angel, from the Warhammer 40,000. From the Horus Heresy Primarchs line. I was going to get into the weeds about how I accidentally made a mistake, but that's not important.
Just speak at twonks.
I'll concede on Sanguinius. Alfarius, I would not.
Alfarius is a twunk.
Nah, he's a short king.
Well, but compared to the Primarchs, he's a short king, but that still means he's fucking 15 feet tall. I think all of our social media is now in a cheeky little what Linktree, thank you, that our lovely Jordy put together for us.
Thank
Curated
you,
even.
Yeah, also I changed my ad again. So just, you got to click the link now to see my new ad. Just so you know.
If you don't,
we'll have to contact HR
I'll
again.
find you.
You just gotta click it though.
Yeah, you just click the Linktree link in the description, and it'll all be there. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Goodbye.
the spirit of America, the spirit